Hello guys, and welcome to this week's Penny Podcast. I am Neha Desaraju. I'm in 10th grade and I'm a staff writer on The Sidekick.
I'm Andrés. I'm in 11th grade and I am the Coppell Student Media web producer.
The Penny Podcast is a weekly hybrid podcast that incorporates elements of interview and conversation with rotating hosts.
Our first story comes from Ryan Dyke for his article headlined Cringe Culture Inspires Fear, Not Comedy, published under our opinion section. Neha, where do you hear the word cringe more often? At school or on the internet?
Definitely at school. It's really funny because I don't see it on the internet as much, but I always hear people saying, ew, that's so cringy. I've always hated the word cringe. I just felt like it was not appropriate for the situation. I definitely agree with Ryan on this one.
Yeah, and Ryan mentioned cringe compilations on YouTube, and that's definitely somewhere that I've seen the word being tossed around just casually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of articles, there was a lot of music-oriented news that hit the waves recently. Record Store Day is April 13th. Josie Records, an indie record store located in Farmers Branch, Texas, is participating in the event and is selling exclusive items such as a David Bowie picture disc and a Devo box set. For those who are into vinyl, make sure to visit your local record store to secure exclusive releases and support the scene.
You know what brings music to my ears? Here's...
My name's Fraser. I'm a sophomore, and I'm part of Coppell Best Buddies, the club, and Lariats at school.
Yeah, so tell me what Best Buddies is and your involvement in the club.
So basically, Best Buddies is a club. It was founded last year, and it's basically an international nonprofit organization that was founded by Anthony Kennedy Shriver. So it's basically just to connect IDD students to students that are just in the school, and a lot of the times they're stuck in like one hallway and don't really get to interact with a lot of students. So it's a really great way to come out and meet other kids in like normal situations, like we do bowling nights and that kind of thing. So it's a way to kind of just interact and have friends like normal and just get together.
So can you clarify what IED is?
Intellectual developmental disabilities. So that's the label we like to use instead of like any other labels. It's the most clarified and everything.
Thank you.
Why did you decide to help start the Best Buddies Club? How did that come about?
Well, one of my friends, Roshni Patel, she was working on her Gold Award project, and she was looking for a club kind of like this that was kind of more of an international audience than the club that was already here, just so that we could connect with schools like around the area and like in different states and stuff. And so she started it for her Gold Award project, and I heard about it and I was like, oh, that sounds like a really cool thing. So I decided to help kind of start it up and just get it moving and on its feet and stuff. So we didn't actually start till December, which was kind of later than a lot of clubs started, but it was still a really good experience and we got a lot done that year. So.
Was there a point where it started growing as a club, or was it always just something that started big?
It started growing a lot this year, but it was pretty big last year also, so it kind of just depended.
And what's your favorite activity that you've helped put together through Best Buddies?
My favorite activity has to be probably the car wash. We've done one this year, which was just last weekend, and we did one last year also. And it's really fun to kind of give back to the community and help fund for the club while both like having fun with everyone in the club and like getting to know everyone who is a member.
Mm-hmm. And you're also in Lariats as well. How long have you been in Lariat?
I've been in Lariat just this past year because you can start as a sophomore. So I've only been in for 1 year, but it's been a really great experience, and it's really cool to get to know a lot of different people throughout the club, and it's not just like, you know, focused on like one kind of person. It's like everyone who dances can do it. So it's not just one kind of dancer. It's not like only like hip hop dancers who do it. It's just like every dancer can try out, and it's a really fun experience, and you get to know a lot of different people and make a lot of new friendships.
How do you keep yourself organized between Best Buddies, Lariats, and school, obviously, which takes up a lot of time?
Yeah, the main thing I try to do is at the beginning of the year, just kind of look at like what I have to do for each thing that I'm involved in. And so I like take a calendar and I'm kind of like, okay, on this day I'm doing this, and so I need to make sure not to try and plan any events, or if there is like an event for Best Buddies that day, I want to try and get my schedule so that I can help plan that event a lot and maybe miss that one, but then be there for like the next like 10 or whatever. And so it's basically just about kind of learning how to balance it and be able to do both and contribute a lot to both of the activities.
Why should people join the Best Buddies Club or the Lariats?
Best Buddies is a really great club to join because you get to make a lot of new friendships, both with students with IDDs and other students in the school. And it's a really great way to meet new people, especially people who are passionate about the same things that you are. It's also a really great way to make a positive impact in other people's lives because it really does help them and it really does make them happy, and you can see it in their faces. And so it's a really great feeling to have. And then it's also a great way to help with leadership skills and, obviously eliminating the stereotype around students with IDDs and everything like that.
Do those leadership skills transfer between the Best Buddies Club and being a Lariat? Do you see any crisscross between them?
Yeah, definitely. With Lariats, you really have to be proactive about what you want to do, and you have to, if you want to get something done, you have to try and get it done for yourself. And so you really have to be responsible for what you're doing and understand like, oh, this needs to get done, so I need to do this tonight. And with Best Buddies, you need to have those leadership skills to be able to, one of our big things we do is you get automatically matched with your buddy, and so that's a student with an IDD. And so you have to be proactive about hanging out with them and not make it seem like it's something that you have to do, because obviously it's not something you want to do. And so it needs to be, you need to be proactive about making sure that it's something that you want to do and keep your motivation engaged in that. And so, yeah, you have to have leadership in both those situations for
keeping your morale up high.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the school year is wrapping up. We're in April. And so what are some goals that you have for yourself, either, finishing up the year, next year concerning these two extracurriculars that you have?
Well, Lariats really does help you grow as a dancer, so I hope to grow more as a dancer and learn more. We're doing a lot of more hip-hop things for pep rallies and stuff, so I hope to be a lot better at that by next year. That's not really my specialty in dancing. And then I also hope to just grow in my technique and also just my, as I said earlier, the leadership skills and, everything about that. Just connecting with your community through Lariats is so important because we go out, during the year, we go out and visit, elementary schools. We participate with, the fire department. We take pictures with them and everything like that. And so I think it's really important that Lariats can help me develop those skills of reaching out to the community and really understanding, which Best Buddies does too, which when we collaborate with other people, for example, with Lariats, we go out and we take pictures with firefighters at the beginning of the year because they really help out with a lot of things. And then also with Best Buddies this year, we did a cookie decorating party in December where we decorated cookies and then walked over to the fire department and delivered it. So it's a really great way to reach out to the community in a number of ways.
So you talked about your specialty wasn't hip-hop. Just as a curiosity, what is your specialty in dancing? I
really like doing contemporary and stuff, which we usually do during competition season from January onwards. But I love, this is not a very popular opinion there yet, but I love kick dances just because I think it's really high energy and really motivates you to keep on going. But they are a really lot of work, so I know that that's not and it's not the best dance to look at, but I love them so much.
That sounds so much like you. You're just so happy. Thank you so much. Thanks to our host, Andrés, and thank you to our guest, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us in the 11th episode of the Penny Podcast. All links to the articles talked about are provided below. Make sure to join us next Thursday for another installment of the Penny Podcast.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.